Hello everyone, thanks for pressing play. In this episode of Excalibur CCG TV, we are taking a look at the new comics hitting the shelves in July from the Diamond's Preview magazine. Stay tuned.
This is Excalibur.
Awesome. Hello again everyone, thanks for pressing play. We really appreciate it. In this video, we're going to take a look at July and what's hitting the shelves in July. We got a lot of new comic books hitting the shelves from all the publishers, and we have our top 10 lists that we're going to run through and talk to you about in no particular order.
That's right.
Just some awesome looking, interesting comics that are hitting the shelves that you will want to add to your pull list. And the order cutoff for that is very soon. By the time you see this video, you need to go ahead and decide and get that placed on your pull list if you're interested. Let's start off with Randy's first choice of his top 10.
Okay, my first choice is Sheltered number 1 from Image Comics. This is a different look at the whole post-apocalyptic thing. This is what would someone do, what would these group of people do to survive knowing that the end is approaching. So instead of saying, oh, the end has happened and we're trying to live, this is, hey, we know it's going to happen here. What are we going to do? How are we going to prepare? What are we going to, what does it take to survive? So
they know it's coming.
So they know it's coming.
Okay.
It sounds like a pretty cool premise to me. A little bit of a different turn there, a swerve. Talk to me about your number 10.
Starting off my list is Catalyst Comix. Anybody who was a fan of Dark Horse Comics back in the 80s, 90s, and knew of the comics' greatest world, such as superhero characters from Dark Horse Comics, like Titan and Amazing Grace, that is being relaunched and revisioned into a 9-issue maxi series that is being written by Joe Casey with various artists such as Dan McDade, Ulysses Farinas, Paul Mayberry. These are different artists from different types of comic books, not particularly like indie, but kind of alternative comic books, and they're going to be doing art throughout this entire maxi series. This entire maxi series, each issue is an anthology issue, so there's several stories within each issue, all written by Joe Casey, and then we'll have various artists in each of the books. But if you were a fan of that back in the day, Joe Casey is going to throw it in a bottle, shake it up, mix it up, and throw something else actually completely different, because Dark Horse said, hey, take these characters, re-envision them, reinvent them. We want to see what your take is on comics' greatest world. And that's exactly what Joe Casey is going to be doing in July with Catalyst Comix number 1 from Dark Horse Comics.
With covers by Raphael Grandpa and Paul Pope.
Exactly.
That's what I'm excited about also.
Exactly, yeah. So Joe Casey was like a pioneer of like getting, I'm not going to say a pioneer, but he was, years ago, he was instrumental in getting a lot of these alternative type of artists, like Raphael Grandpa, Paul Pope, like doing some mainstream stuff like X-Men, or just filling issues for these big titles back in the day. But now he's going to have his own series of all of his favorites doing this with Catalyst Comix. So that's something to definitely check out in July. What's next for you?
Number 9 on my list is The Strain, The Fall. That is David Lapham, and he's writing it, and I know who's drawing it. My notes are all over the place right now. All right, that is David Lapham and Mike Huddleston, who was previously Butcher Baker.
Yep.
So that is a new ongoing series. It's just been picked up, optioned for a television series. And looks like it's it's a good horror story there. So that's top of my list on one of those I am on board to check out.
Awesome. Next up for me is Justice League number 22 from DC Comics. Justice League 22 is the first part of the Trinity War that's hitting all 3 Justice League titles that month. So it's going to be in Justice League 22. It's going to be in that month's issue of Justice League of America and that month's issue of Justice League Dark. These are being written by Jeff Johns and Jeff Lemire. They're writing Justice League of America together, I think, and Lemire's doing Dark by himself, and Johns is doing Justice League by himself with their various artists. But this is the big DC event that is hitting this year. a hero dies, and because of the death of this particular hero, which I have no clue who it is at this time, it sets all 3 Justice League teams at odds against each other. So it's Justice League versus League versus League. I mean, it's an all-out battle between all 3 of them. There's the stories and the plot lines have all been leading up to this, and whenever the Trinity War ends with August, there's supposed to be this is all supposed to culminate into a big storyline launching forward from there. I don't have any details about that yet, but Trinity War is going to be the catalyst for what's going to happen in July with DC. Now, this isn't just going to be in the Justice League books. That's right. It's also spanning out into Constantine and most definitely into the Trinity of Sin books, which are Pandora and the Phantom Stranger. That's right. So it's going to be reaching out to those books as well. Not sure if it's hitting any of the other DC books, to be honest with you. I think it's just those.
This month, that's what's going through.
Okay. So Justice League, Trinity War. I'll have more information available to you as it becomes available to me. There'll be a post up later on this week detailing even a little bit more of what's going on. But it's going to be 6. It's going to be 6 parts: 2 Justice League, 2 Justice League of America, 2 Justice League Dark issues, plus the Constantine and Trinity of Sin issues. So it's a big storyline. There's going to be a lot of moving parts, and we'll see what happens with the Justice Leagues being at odds with each other.
Next up on my list, I have the counterpart to the Trinity Wars. Avengers number 15 and 16 and New Avengers number 8 are going to be issues that are prelude to Infinity. So those are going to be Jonathan Hickman handling those, the writing chores on those, and that's going to be, I guess, his baby that he'll take care of with that series for Marvel Comics. But that's going to be the big one there. I'm excited about that. He's the one that you want handling craziness, and it looks like he's given us a little bit of taste of how he's able to handle space stories with his Mars whatnot, and his Galactus and his hopping dimensions with the New Avengers and all that. So he's got seeds planted all over the place, and it's going to be building up in these 3 books this July.
Awesome. And don't get these confused, guys. Trinity is DC, Infinity is Marvel.
Both awesome.
But yeah, both are going to be something you should be looking forward to. Next up for me is Batman 66 number 1 by Jeff Parker and Jonathan Case. If you're a fan of the classic original Batman TV series, well, this is continuing. This is stemming from that Batman stories in that era with that type of madcap, crazy, goofy, maybe even at times storytelling.
The Batusi.
The Batusi, yeah, exactly. The Rogues Gallery. This first issue finds Batman going up against the Riddler, and he may have some help from a little feline lady.
That sounds perfect.
There we go.
You're going to get there, my kid. No.
Exactly.
And they look, Jonathan Case art, they look just like those classic characters there. And Jeff Parker, he's been underappreciated over at Marvel, and now he's taken some of his talent over to DC and writing this. This was a internet first series that's now being put into comic formats.
Awesome. Okay. So there you go. If you're a fan of the 60s era Batman, this is a must-have for your pull list. So be sure and add that. What's next for you, Randy?
Next for me is Red Sonja number 1. They're restarting the series. People, jump on board here. You have Gail Simone, who's taking over this book here. You have one of the best writers in the industry writing one of the most hardcore violent female characters there, so what's not to love? And just in case you weren't sure about that, you're going to have Colleen Doran, you're going to have Nicholas Scott, you're going to have Amanda Connor, Fiona Staples from Saga. All of these ladies are going to be doing covers for the first issue there. So I know I myself have a couple of those I put down on the list that I want to pick up.
Nice.
So it's going to be a great book from, what was that, Dynamite?
Girl Power.
Girl Power, woo.
Oh, I didn't know Fiona Staples was going to be doing
one of the covers.
Or Amanda, that's awesome, man.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Don't forget Colleen Doran there. Colleen Doran's been just as awesome as the other ones there for a long, long time.
Yeah,
so,
yeah, totally.
So that's that's great that they're able to get some of those talents to chip in there and give us some awesome, beautiful covers.
And they will be indeed. My next pick is going to be from Image Comics. It's Ghosted #1 by Joshua Williamson with art by Goran Suzuka. Think of Ocean's 11 meets The Shining. That's what this book is about. It centers around the main character who's a criminal mastermind, but his last heist, his last plot went awry, and he ended up getting put into prison. But then he gets broken out of prison by a wealthy collector. And his task is to steal the ghost from a haunted house. That's what this series is about. So I'm really looking forward to this. Goran Suzuka was also a fill-in artist for many issues of Why the Last Man when that was published. Did some Wolverine stuff. Has a very nice, clean, detailed art style. Joshua Williamson has done writing for various publishers and been around with, now this is his own creator-owned series. And with a premise like that, I'm very, very interested, and will be adding this to my pull list because I want to see how someone steals a ghost.
I'm curious.
From a haunted house.
So, I mean, I know how the Ghostbusters stole ghosts, but I don't think it's going to be the same way.
I don't think it's going to be the same way. And this guy, I was reading more about the main character of this book, Jackson T. Winters, and he's like, he's a bad guy. He's a bad guy.
Not someone you want to cheer for.
No, exactly. And he's going to be teaming up with his usual heist or capers that he does. You know, he goes and finds the best. And in this instance, he's going to be going and finding the best paranormal experts to help him with this heist of stealing this ghost from the haunted house. So it seems really cool. I love the concept just from the Ocean's 11 and The Shining. Mixing those two together, that looks really cool. Be sure and check out Ghosted #1 from Image Comics in July.
Okay, cool. Next up for me is a mini-series from Marvel Comics, Deadpool Kills Deadpool. He's taking a contract out to kill himself there. So let's see exactly how that happens. If it can stick, I don't know. It's going to be zany. It's going to be crazy, and it's going to be Deadpool. So expect him to find new ways to try and off himself. So he's been going through killing literary figures. He's been going through killing the Marvel Universe. This time it's his turn to kill himself.
That's crazy. That's great. That premise alone is just worth checking it out.
He's one of those characters that you can do something like this. You can't have Wolverine kills Wolverine or Superman kills Superman, something like that. This is a character that you can give that title, you can give that miniseries to, and it's somehow going to make sense.
Yeah.
So
exactly, it's somehow going to make sense.
Yeah. So that's right there for me with a must read.
Awesome. Next up for me is Avengers AI #1, hitting the shelves in July. This is written by Sam Humphries with art by Andre Arua. Andre Arua did that recent Fantastic Four AU issue, so that was his art there. Nice. Very clean, very detailed. Sam Humphries has been writing all kinds of stuff, his own creator-owned work, Sacrifice. He's been on Ultimates. He's on Uncanny X-Force.
Doing a great job on that.
Been doing several things. He's kind of broken out here recently, and now at the end of Age of Ultron, of course, I don't know how much of a spoiler this is, but at the end of Age of Ultron, things change, and now there is a much larger artificial intelligence presence now in the Marvel Universe because of the events of Age of Ultron. And Henry Pym is back leading this team of basically artificial intelligence Avengers, sci-fi Avengers. You got the Doombots, you got Vision on the team, you got Victor Mancha on the team. That's right. Several other characters with Henry Pym leading the team and trying to deal with the world and how it's changed since the Age of Ultron with this increased presence of artificial intelligence in the world. Also, there's robots that are able to reproduce their artificial intelligence without the need for human intervention, and there's even artificial intelligence that does not like mankind, much in the same way as Ultron, but it's going to be a new character, a new villain, a character that's going to be introduced with that hatred towards mankind that this team will have to deal with. So launching out from Age of Ultron, you got Avengers AI #1 in July.
Let's hope Hank Pym isn't the one responsible for creating this. That'd be another dope kind of moment for him.
Exactly. So check out Avengers AI. What's up for you?
Next up for me is Damon. Damon is a book I'm really looking forward to, mostly because you have Brian Stelfreeze on the art.
Oh, really?
Yeah. How awesome is that? You don't get to see Stelfreeze doing the art very often these days. And so for me, that as soon as I saw that name, is like, write that down. That's on my list. That's awesome. That is kind of like a vampire mafia type book. And the Daemon are the humans that they contract or they use to go out and do the dirty work during the day that the vampires can't do.
Awesome.
So I think that's a great premise, and like I said, you have Stelfreeze art, so that's a win in my book right there. It's also the people. One of the creators has been writing Supergirl, and they're familiar names with the writers there. So yeah, they're going to be people that have the talent, but again, it's the art that I'm there for, and I'm sticking around because that story just sounds way too cool.
Awesome. Stelfreeze is totally worth it.
Definitely.
Next up for me is Quantum and Woody, #1 from Valiant Comics. Valiant has made a huge comeback here in the past year and a half. Relaunching almost all of the old series that they used to have decades ago. Mm-hmm. We've got new Exo-Man of War, we've got new Armstrong, and these books have been receiving acclaim, fan praise. And the next up to receive all of that is Quantum and Woody by James Asmus and Tom Fowler. If you were a fan of Quantum and Woody back in the day, you're going to want to check this out. It's going to be a slight reimagining of the characters. I know back in the original version, they were friends that had these power bracelets that they had to playing together every 24 hours. But in this concept, they're going to be brothers. And also the infamous or famous Goat will be along sooner or later. And there's supposed to be a major story behind the Goat and a pivotal role that the Goat's going to play in the series. So Tom Fowler's an excellent artist. Has been around doing major work for DC, Marvel, all the big names, several of the titles. Coming on this series full-time. Thief of Thieves, there we go. And James Asmus has been around too. He's written some X-Men stuff.
Thief of Thieves is James Asmus.
Yeah, there we go. So top talent. Valiant's doing again with this series with top talent. And just for a peek here, something to whet your appetite.
What the comic gods gave me.
There we go.
Playing by.
There we go. Quantum and Woody, #1, hitting the shelves from Valiant Comics in July. So be sure, check it out. Randy, what's next for you?
Next for me is Wolverine #6 and 7. We're getting a 2 for this in July from Paul Cornell and Alan Davis. This right here is going to be critical for fans of Wolverine and for fans who have been reading Age of Ultron, because something is going to happen here to Wolverine that changes everything. Let's think about a couple of things with Wolverine. Well, he's Canadian. Mm-hmm. He's the best he is at what he does. He has some metal claws. He says bub, drinks a lot of beer, has a healing factor. There's something there that's going to change.
Okay.
If you've seen the trailer for the movie, you get a hint as to which one of those things I'm talking about that might be changing. It's all leading up to dark days in 2014 with Wolverine, but it's going to start here. So you're definitely going to want to pick this one up. Don't miss.
Don't miss. From Marvel Comics in July. Next up for me, Strangers, #1, hitting the shelves by Chris Robertson with art by Scott Kowalchuk. This is a sci-fi action espionage type of adventure series set in the 60s with a paranormal team that has superpowers that goes around righting the wrongs of various occults, sects, different factions within the paranormal community. Each of the characters that are part of this particular team has their own paranormal gifts, different from each other, some very unique, and some of them not as simple as they first appear. Some of the characters that are going to be in the series have very unique abilities that seem simple on the surface, but they're much more underneath. Their main villain that they're going to be fighting is called a cult. It's an acronym. And we'll find out more about the acronym in the series as the series progresses, because that's supposed to be a big secret. But if you're a fan of Chris Robertson, he's been doing Mask, he's been doing Memorial. He did some stuff with Vertigo before he left Vertigo to go do his own stuff. He's doing stuff with Comixology.
I think he did Cinderella, the 2 Cinderella miniseries for Fables.
That's right.
Vertigo.
For Vertigo. He did Edison Rex online comic book, Masks, Memorial, Mask from Dynamite Memorial from, I believe, IDW.
Yeah, it was IDW.
And this is coming also from IDW as well. So if you're a fan...
No, Oni Press.
Oni Press, I'm sorry, Oni Press. So if you're a fan of that type of paranormal action timepiece, like I said, it's set in the 60s, this is going to be a fun series to check out and add to your pull list.
If you were one of the lucky few on Free Comic Book Day, they had #1 there. So some people have already previewed it, and I guarantee you that they've added that to their list, that they're wanting to pick that one up. It's going to be good.
Good.
It's going to be a sleeper, going to be a hit.
Yes.
Next up for me is Molly Danger, the hardcover there. This is Jamal Eagle, his Kickstarter program that it was funded through Kickstarter, that he was longtime artist on Supergirl, and he's the one that gave Supergirl the shorts under her skirt there, kind of made her a little more modest. But he has beautiful art, beautiful detail to his art, and this, as far as I know, is our first chance to really get to see his writing abilities on the book. And a few people, again, who were the select few who were able to pick it up on Free Comic Book Day, they had a little sampling of the hardcover here. But so this is going to be his first work. This looks like a real labor of love there for him, and so I'm giving him a chance with it. I'm excited to see what it is there. This is just, you know, kind of a little girl who has tons of superpowers there, and, you know, is she able to handle the powers that she, and the responsibility that comes with them. So.
Yeah. And you were mentioning Jeff Parker earlier being an underappreciated writer. I think Jamal is an underappreciated artist.
Most definitely.
Fantastic artwork. He's top notch, and I don't know. I'm glad to see him doing his own thing. Yeah,
getting a chance to do it, and he you know, went to. It is. I'll tell you in just a moment here. He went to Action Lab Entertainment. I'm not sure. I'm not familiar with the studio there, but that's who he went to produce this awesome comic there. So it's going to be a small press that a lot of people will overlook there, because it's not Image or Dark Horse, you know, one of the, or IDW, something like that, that's producing this. So it's going to be a treat for those who pick it up.
Molly Danger, check it out.
Everybody should.
Now, next up for me, take one of the greatest literary artists to ever exist and mash him together with one of the greatest sci-fi properties to ever exist as well. And what do you get? You get William Shakespeare's Star Wars. Yes, quite literally. In July, hitting the shelves in hardcover form, is William Shakespeare's Star Wars. We still have the Jedi, we still have the Sith, we still have Wookiees and Stormtroopers, and we have it all in 176 pages that arrives July 2nd for $14.95, that you will be able to feast your eyes upon.
That's right.
Not sure where this is going, but the concept is crazy and brilliant at the same time. So be sure and check out William Shakespeare's Star Wars hardcover. What's next for you, Randy?
Next for me is Walking Dead merchandise. We've got a lot of really cool merchandise coming out. We've got a couple of lunch boxes here. Collectible lunch boxes. I'm sure maybe there's a couple of you would actually use them and not put them up. Why not? I mean, it's practical to use the lunch box. We've also got some really cool shirts coming out. We have Ezekiel Has a Tiger shirt is one of them. We have the Welcome to Woodbury shirt. It's cool. It's kind of I guess more of a design based off of the television series, and has the bloody handprint on the kind of the the street sign that says "Welcome to Woodbury."
Okay.
We've got a Michonne T-shirt coming out here, and we have probably the one that girls are going to go most crazy over, and some of the guys, the Dixon Brothers T-shirt.
Yeah.
So we've got a whole lot of just really awesome shirts coming out there,
awesome.
and merchandise. So I feel like it would be a sin to go through this solicitations here and not mention something that's as hot as that and as neat as that.
Cool. Some merchandise to add to your list. Next up from me in July, from Image Comics, is Satellite Sam #1, written by Mac Fraction with art by Howard Chaykin. We're talking about sex, murder, and live TV back in 1961. The beloved character... 51. The beloved character, Satellite Sam, ends up dead in a flop house. And his son suspects that there was a murder involved, and the murder mystery that is what's going to be going on through this particular series from these creators. The problem is the son believes it's a murder, but if he can stay sober long enough, he might be able to figure it out. And this is by Matt Fraction, who's given us all kinds of stuff. Casanova, Hawkeye. He's given us Fantastic Four right now, FF right now. Howard Chaykin is a legend among the comics industry. He's done all kinds of stuff, from Wolverine to Black Kiss to U.S. American Flag back in the day.
War comics, War is Hell, different, yeah.
Classic, legendary comic artist, and he's even written a lot as well. On this particular series, he's the fantastic artist that you'll see month in and month out. Written by Mac Fraction, hitting the shelves from Image Comics. Another time period piece that you'll want to check out and see what's going on with.
I think the important thing to point out here, this is Matt Fraction going back to his roots with writing for for his own title there. Mm-hmm. So, think back, those of you who've gotten a chance to read Casanova. Casanova was off the wall craziness. His Hawkeye that he's writing right now is kind of in that same indie vein there.
Exactly.
It doesn't feel like a mainstream book, and so you're going to get, I think, more of that style writing from him, which I look forward to. I think that's when he's at his best. So
yeah, Hawkeye's killing it for me. So
yeah,
so this is something I'm definitely gonna be checking out and see what Matt Fraction's gonna do back in 1951
in his time machine.
What's up for you?
All right, finally for me, I have Guardians of the Galaxy #5. We've got a couple of things with Guardians of the Galaxy. #5 is there's not a whole lot about the issue that we know, but it's going to have Neil Gaiman co-writing the book, and it's going to feature Angela in there. So that's something that people will want to check out and don't want to miss. It's going to stem, I think, directly from Age of Ultron there, with Angela making her second big appearance in Marvel Comics.
That's right.
We also, I want you guys to remember there's going to be a Guardians of the Galaxy book called Tomorrow's Avengers. That's just a one-shot. It's going to have just kind of a little more story for each one of the different Guardians there. Gamora, Drax, Rocket, and Groot. I am Groot. So that's one of those to check out. And finally, this is all just kind of the space stuff I'm tying in here. Finally, we have an Age of Ultron #10 UC. If you've seen the image, all you see is kind of this space darkness that has in red or in purple letters hunger.
Okay.
Now, when we think purple, right now with Avengers, a lot of us are going to think Thanos.
Exactly.
But in New Avengers, they've been dealing with a different purple guy that they've been calling the Universal Constant. Could that be what the UC stands for? This guy is hungry a whole lot.
Yes, he is.
We'll see if that's going to be one of our next big major players here in Marvel Comics. So those couple of things right there, I'm just going to wrap them up into one nice little package there and say, check out that whole chunk of Marvel space adventure stuff.
Exactly. That's where Marvel's at. That's a lot of where Marvel is going next. So
I love it.
Yeah, get on board. And wrapping it up for me, July is Superior Spider-Man month. In case you didn't know, so of course, Superior Spider-Man is continuing, but Avenging Spider-Man is wrapping up, and out of that, we are getting Superior Foes of Spider-Man, we are getting a Superior Carnage miniseries, and we are also getting Superior Spider-Man Team-Up series hitting the shelves in July. Superior Foes of Spider-Man, written by Nick Spencer, with art by Steve Lieber, however you want to pronounce that. Nick Spencer has been around. He's doing all kinds of stuff. He's doing the Secret Avengers for Marvel. He did Ultimate X-Men for a while. He's got his own Morning Glories and Bedlam from Image Comics. Also, Steve Lieber is an award-winning artist that's going to be joining him for the Superior Foes of Spider-Man. And we're looking at Spidey's deadliest foes joining together. Because with them, they think that terrible powers comes with terrible responsibility. So we're going to be taking a look at that. Also, we got Superior Carnage by Kevin Chinook and Steven Segovia, actually, with Carnage in prison. His prison mates have a different plan for him, decide to have a little experiment that happens along the way with him, and with the results of that experiment, they're wanting to know, or they actually find out, if Carnage will stay the same or if he will become a superior Carnage.
Nobody wants a superior Carnage. That's just more craziness.
Exactly. Carnage by himself is bad enough. Having a superior Carnage would be catastrophic.
Somebody's not thinking there.
They're not thinking at all. Not thinking at all. And then to wrap it up, of course, we got Spider-Man, the Superior Spider-Man Team-Up. #1 hits the shelves, with written by Christopher Yost, with art by David Lopez.
One of my favorites.
Yes, and this is a new ongoing series that's going to be hitting the shelves, and it looks like Spider-Man, Superior Spider-Man, more specifically, is going to get to team up with a lot of your favorite characters from the Marvel Universe with this series. So huge month for not Spider-Man, Superior Spider-Man. So if you're a fan of what's been going on with that, do keep in mind that Avenging Spider-Man is going to be wrapping up soon, and it's going to be replaced with the Team-Up book that's coming out, and these other Superior Spider-Man series hitting the shelves in July. So that pretty much wraps it up for me.
Lots of goodness coming out this July. Lots of stuff to add to your list. There's plenty that we haven't talked about that's in that book, that's in the previous book. Pick the previews up. Look through it. Come in here and give us your list ahead of time. It's a lot easier that way. But this is just what Chris, what myself, what we're looking at, what we're really excited from this list here. So, yours may differ some.
Exactly.
Look through the previews and tell us what it is that you're looking forward to.
Exactly. And I'll have more information from each of the companies on the website during this week, the week of May 15th, to give you some more information so you can look at more of the solicitations that are available from each of the companies and decide what to add to your list. Be sure and add whatever you want to your list as soon as possible so that you are pretty much guaranteed that you do receive it. Just like Randy was saying, pre-ordering is your best friend in the comic industry. And that wraps it up for us this week with the July solicitations from Diamond Previews. Thanks for pressing play. We really appreciate you taking the time to watch. If we informed you or entertained you or just give you an aha moment, then please subscribe, share, and like. Remember, we're in Shreveport, Louisiana, here on East 70th Street. If you're in the area, come by and see us. If not, be sure and go to your local comic store and get on their pull list and get yourself some great comics. Add them to your pull list.
Sounds good.
Sounds good to me too. Until next time, guys, take care, and we'll see you around.